What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so we're going to be taking a look at Cable's X-Men X of Swords look here, which is basically just a young-looking Cable here, which, I don't know, for some reason, I'm just not really a fan of this look for Cable. I don't know, it just looks really weird to me. Maybe it's the face is a little off-putting, but either way, I don't know. I just not really a big fan of this look. Maybe it's because I'm so used to seeing, like, the old man Cable with his nice crew cut and gray hair, and then we see this young version of him. Just, I don't know, it looks weird to me, but let me know if you feel the same way down in the comments below. But let's go ahead and take a look at the uniform and see what it actually does for Cable, because he is actually getting his tier 3. Well, he already has his tier 3. I shouldn't say he is getting his tier 3. He has his tier 3 now with this new look, so let's see if it's worth it. So the uniform bonus is going to be the same as his Summer Day uniform. It's going to enhance the effects of his 4-star passive to include crit damage by 30% and chain hit damage by 35% when attacking. I'm not really sure why it says the cooldown time 1 second there. I don't know if this is just going to be activating it's going to be on cooldown for 1 second. So 1 second you have it, 1 second you don't, kind of thing. So it's going to be alternating each second of being on and off, because there's no actual cooldown or time in brackets next to the crit damage and chain hit damage. So yeah, very confused on it. This should just be, since it's linked to his passive, which just says apply to self, this should be active all the time. So I'm very confused on why they have that 1 second cooldown there. Does it have it on this uniform? It does, but look, it has time next to it. That's what I was saying, see? So it says 5 seconds there in brackets, whereas this one does not say anything in brackets. So I have no idea. Is this supposed to be 5 seconds like his Summer Day uniform, or is this activated all the time? A little clarification would be nice, but either way, it's a good uniform bonus. I probably spent too much time on that, so let's move on. All right, yeah, so we have our 85% chance here. First skill, we just have Stun Bind. Second skill, we have Incapacitation, which I believe was always there. And then we have the crit rate increase by 30%, so we keep that. And then over here for the third skill, which is going to be the same as the Summer Days uniform, but if you have any of the previous uniforms, they did change his accumulation to now be damage dealt instead of damage received, because if we go over here to the Cable in Deadpool and take a look at the third skill, it says increase attack 2.5% of 1% damage taken, whereas now it is damage dealt, which is really nice. So for Cable, you definitely want the damage dealt. Well, I mean, you are sitting there just channeling that 5th skill so you could take damage that way, but it's just more convenient, easier to build up, because maybe the boss doesn't hit you right away when you're doing that channeling skill. So yeah, a lot of things can go wrong there. So this will help make his damage more consistent. And I believe everything else is the same. 5% heal, the guard hit, 5 hits for 7 seconds. Then we have the 4th skill here, which is going to be the same as the Summer Day and the Cable and Deadpool, where he has a minus 55% all defense down on that skill. And then the 5th skill here, so this is the first time they've changed his 5th skill, so we have a new animation here. It is no longer a channeling skill, but we do have some pretty nice buffs here. We retain that invincibility, which is perfect, because we like that. But then we have the increased damage dealt when you attack a supervillain. It's going to increase your damage by 50% for 1 attack, so we get a mini 50% damage proc here if you're fighting a supervillain when you use the 5th skill. So that's actually pretty nice. That'll help increase his damage even more, and Cable already had some pretty nice damage, so with this uniform you're going to get even more of that goodness there. So if you're looking for a nice burst damage character, Cable is definitely going to be a good option for that. Alright, but in terms of the skill animations, I don't think much has changed. So he goes down with the sword there, so it's just changed to use like different, take advantage of the sword a little bit more, instead of just kind of shooting his gun off and do plasma beams and stuff like that. And then this one, yeah, it's exactly the same. And then move on to the new 5th skill. So now he just throws down. The swords look really cool though. I do like the animation for that 5th skill. It's really nice, and it's pretty short. Yeah, it's pretty short animation, so you can get in and out pretty quickly actually with that 5th skill. So I'm assuming you're probably going to do the same rotation with Cable with this uniform that you do with the other uniforms. You're just going to do 3, cancel into 4, wait for the clones to appear, and then go into 5 to get all your damage. At least that's my guess. Oh wait, did 2 have the crit rate buff? Which one was it again? I've already forgotten. I haven't played Cable in such a long time. Okay, so that one has the crit rate buff. So what was on 3? Oh, that was the accumulation. Alright, so we're just going to go boom, 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 and then hop into that 4th skill. or the 5th skill. So yeah, I mean, still looking about the same. Maybe it's a little bit safer now because you're not going to be sitting there with the channeling skills, so you're not going to have a chance. Well, you have invincibility, as to say, you get guard broken out of that. You do sometimes, though, get guard broken out of that. And you are... It's not an iframe, so I know you can still get hit here, but it's just a shorter animation, so I think it's to be a little bit better for getting in and out in certain fights there, getting your burst damage in, instead of just sitting there and waiting for your damage to accumulate from the chain hits on the 5th skill. And now the tier 3, actually I haven't even seen the tier 3 animation, I don't think, so let's see what his tier 3 looks like. Oh, and how he pulls out his old 5th skill there with his plasma rifle, or plasma Gatling gun, whatever we're going to call that thing. Okay, yeah, so that's not bad. Is that a skill that we're going to want to cancel? I'm not really sure. Can we even cancel it? Come on, show me. You don't show me the details, eh? All right, well, let's build it up again really quick. Build up the tier 3. All right, there we go. So now, well, we're going to be sitting back and shooting that, so it's definitely not going to be something we're going to cancel. So we're probably just going to do this again, and then just go into the tier 3. That's probably what you're going to do, because you can't... Yeah, he jumps back anyway. So anyway, let me see, what does that tier 3 do? I should have looked at that more, because I kind of even forgot that he had the tier 3. I just remembered that when I started making the video. I was like, oh yeah, Cable has tier 3 now, doesn't he? No, well, this isn't where I want to be. Alright, where's my Cable at? There you are. Alright, what is your tier 3? Tier 3 is going to... Okay, so it does have all defense down, minus 70%, 7 seconds of invincibility, increased damage by 45% for 1 attack. So yeah, that's actually pretty solid. You have the minus 70% all defense down, so if you have a debuff lead on him, he could probably do like up to stage 99 for world bosses with that much all defense down and his really high raw damage. So Cable's going to be a very... Oh yeah, and he's got the ignore dodge lead, which is actually quite valuable in quite a few situations. So yeah, Cable is going to be a pretty powerful tier 3. So if you're definitely looking for a nice burst damage character that doesn't need a CTP of Rage, because you can slap a CTP of Energy on him and he should perform very well with that, then Cable's probably going to be a good option for you. So yeah, he's looking pretty good actually. Right now, I don't really have an interest in getting the tier 3, so I don't think you're going to see a tier 3 video from me about Cable, but I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there. And since I don't plan on getting Cable to tier 3, I'm not going to be buying his new uniform, so that's just going to be sitting here for now. Maybe I'll invest in him later in the future, but right now I don't really have a need for him, so he performs just fine for me as is for what I use him for, which is basically nothing right now, except if I push really high in Shadowland. He's just a high Shadowland clear. But yeah, Cable is definitely looking very strong. So if you need another really strong blast character, I'm thinking he's going to be a good option there. And since we always have an abundance of mutant resources, for the most part, you should be able to rank up Cable pretty easily. Get him to level 70, get his gears ranked up, because of, like I said, the mutant resources being a lot higher and more available than the tier 2 resources, the black antimatter, the chaos nordstones, and it's mainly just because of the cap right there. That's why if you look at my roster in terms of characters that I have at level 70, you see I have so many mutant characters at level 70, all these mutants at level 70, and that's just because whenever I max out on my phoenix feathers and my mcon crystals, I need to dump them somewhere, so I dump them into whatever mutant character I have that is not level 70, and I just hit max on that too. I don't even try to min max. Like, I don't go for like a 10% chances or even 80% chances. I just go all into 100% just to burn through those resources. And this is how many of the mutants, that I have at level 70. I think I'm only missing a few, and those are probably the ones I'm just not super interested in, like Beast and Cyclops. So this is literally the only two. Yeah, those are the only two, and they're just two that I just don't really care about ranking up. So yeah, that shows you that, you know, you should be able to work on Cable pretty easily, and he'll be a very strong option for you. So overall, I think the uniform is a really strong uniform, especially if you don't have a uniform for Cable yet. Then it's definitely going to be a really good look. If you have the X-Force, it's going to be a huge upgrade. Even for the one that I'm using right here, it's going to be a huge upgrade because the Summer Days, as we saw, was a lot better than Cable and Deadpool, and the Summer Days is going to be more comparable to the new uniform here, but the new uniform is still going to take the cake I think, for the top uniform. So that's just going to be my initial thoughts on Cable here without actually buying the uniform and bring it into some content to test out for myself. But for what I've seen, it does look to be a very powerful uniform, and he seems to be a very solid tier 3 option now. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and of course I will catch you in the next one.